Sally's parents were born with black hair. However, Sally was born with red hair. How exactly is this possible?
No, the answer isn't that Sally's adopted. It's all due to the laws of Mendellian genetics.
The cells in the body of a living organism are made from proteins, and these proteins are formed through the assembly of compounds called amino acids. Amino acids can be assembled in all different types of ways to form proteins. The way these amino acids are able to interact and combine are through the use of DNA, which is a structure found in the nucleus of the cell, which carries our genetic material. Each human has 23 pairs of chromosomes, with a variation of each coming from the mother and father. An area located on the chromosome is known as a gene, and this essentially acts as an instruction manual for the amino acids to be synthesized into proteins. These proteins that are made determine the traits of our body, such as melanin, which controls your skin color, or keratin, which dictates how strong your hair is. Now, since there are 23 pairs of chromosomes, there likely might be some variations between the traits you inherited from your mother and father, and this is known as
Mendel's law of segregation.
we call these variations alleles. For example, these two flowers of the same species. Their different colors are alleles of a flower's petal color. Now unfortunately, not all alleles are made equally. Some alleles overpower others, and we call these alleles dominant alleles, while we call the suppressed allele the recessive allele. The dominant allele is the gene that gets expressed and displayed in the phenotype, which is what we call the observable features of an organism, and this is known as
Mendel's law of dominance.
But wait, what happens to the recessive allele? Well, despite not being displayed in an organism's phenotype, it doesn't disappear or die. It still lives on as part of the genotype, which is what we call the genetic material that makes up a trait. Because of this, there's still a possibility of the recessive trait showing up in the offspring of an organism, as the gamete that forms the offspring only has a single set of chromosomes, and not both of them, as it interacts with the opposite sex's gamete to make the offspring. So, how do we determine the potential genotype of an organism? Well, we do that with the help of Punnett squares. Punnett squares are square diagrams that determine all the possible genotypes by lining up the mother's and father's genotypes. Each square here has a 25% chance of being the offspring's potential genotype. Now, back to the Sally question. Let's suppose both Sally's mom and dad both had parents that passed on the black hair and the red hair alleles. Now, in both cases, the black hair allele was more dominant, and because of that, it appeared in the phenotype for both of them. However, the red hair allele is still part of each of their genotypes. Now, if we line up the genotypes, here we can see that although there's a 75% chance of Sally's hair being black, there's also a 25% chance of her hair being red, as the only allele in this phenotype, and that's how Sally got red hair.
Genetics are like being dealt with a hand of cards. Although they affect a variety of factors like our appearance, our genetic diseases, and even our happiness, it's how we use them that really makes a difference.